Plaques and Platitudes. As a child, my family loved looking at informational plaques. It didn't matter if we were in a museum, a public park, or an old building. If there was a rectangle of information in the area, my caretakers were reading it. I was told I should pay attention when there's a plaque because it's there for a reason. As you might imagine, I didn't want to know about the descriptive, historical details in front of me. I often didn't care to learn, finding the fine details boring and draining. But whether I wanted to know or not, I was made to look. This taught me the importance of recounting the past, even if it didn't apply to my current life. Plaques encouraged me to care about something outside of my own world, to seek knowledge, to reach beyond myself. Plaques require me to be curious, to slow down, to take notice, to absorb. And this is what I hope for us all, because accurate information grounds us in truth, even if that means recounting horrific injustices, inhumane treatment, and widespread suffering. Because the truth is, reading about history is the only way to understand the past and how that past affects our present. So as an adult, I take the time to stop and look at plaques whenever I see one, because if someone put it there, there's probably a reason for it.
The city of Philadelphia is suing the federal government over the removal of a historical display at Independence Mall.
Crews were seen dismantling several plaques which told the stories of the 9 enslaved people who lived in the president's house and were owned by George Washington.
The removals come after an order last year from President Trump directing National Park staff to flag any displays seen as disparaging to America's past.
Action News reporter Corey Davis is live at the site with reaction to a move that is making national headlines this morning. Corey.
Matt and Aliana, good morning. That lawsuit is 144 pages long. The city of Philadelphia suing the Trump administration, arguing that the federal government was not allowed to remove the exhibit honoring the lives of those 9 people enslaved by President George Washington. Their names, however, are still engraved out here at the site, but any indication of who they were or what their lives were like have been removed. The panels here are now gone. So this site here is what is the president's house. It was the president's house where President George Washington and at the time Vice President John Adams conducted business before the White House was ready, but there is no indication of what this site was like anymore. The slave quarters are still visible down there at the moment, but once again, tourists don't know what this was. All of the paneling and everything have been taken down. I want to give you a look there at some video. The action cam was out here yesterday here in this area when the Park Service began removing the slavery memorial at this historic site near Independence Hall and the Liberty Bell, visited by more than 2.7 million people a year. We knew this was a possibility after President Donald Trump ordered any disparaging materials to be removed from Independence Hall ahead of America's 250th birthday. The exhibit opened in 2010 and honored the lives of 9 people enslaved by President George Washington. So in the lawsuit, the city of Philadelphia argued that the Trump administration violated an agreement made 20 years ago that indicated the city and the federal government had to decide together on what happens to exhibits here in the park. Action News asked Mayor Sherrell Parker about it yesterday as the exhibits were coming down before the lawsuit was filed, and she signaled a battle in court.
I can't allow my pride, ego, or emotions to dictate what my actions will be. That is why my job as mayor is to do my homework. And my homework is grounded in the legal research that our law department will conduct that relates to that 2006 cooperative agreement between the city of Philadelphia and the federal government.
In Pennsylvania, Governor Josh Shapiro posted this to social media saying President Trump is trying to, quote, rewrite and whitewash our history but he picked the wrong city. Philadelphia Council President Kenyatta Johnson calling the removal totally unacceptable and says he supports the lawsuit filed by the mayor's administration. A lot of people were out here yesterday watching and recording as the panels were removed.
I'm very disturbed, man. Very disturbed and hurtful. You want American history, why not black history? Black history is American history. You can't separate the two.